Hey, what up? It's your boy. These past couple of years, there's just been bad news all around, with the pandemic happening, lots of famous people passing away, the world being in absolute shambles, physically and mentally. I figured we would change it up a bit because I found this particular news article on Twitter about possibly one of the most wholesome Japanese schoolgirls ever conceived. And the wholesome schoolgirl in question is this lovely lady on screen right now by the name of Kawamura Chiho. She is a university student attending Nagoya University in Aichi Prefecture, which is in the middle of Japan. And she has started doing something really unique, but just absolutely goddamn wholesome, which is that during the rush hour of every weekday, as all of these salarymen and salarywomen and businessmen and businesswomen are rushing back home after a long, hard day, she sits on the edge of the main road where a lot of passers come by and holds up a sign that you can see in this photo right here. And for those of you who can't read Japanese, the sign basically says, "For 100 yen, I will praise you." Now, for those of you who have no idea about the exchange rate, 100 yen is roughly $1 US, which is, chump change to say the least. And when she says that she will praise you, she won't just be like, "Hey, you're doing a good job, okay, bye," and get it done in 5 seconds. No, she literally sits down with them for 30 minutes at a time. And she basically sits down, talks to people who come up to give her 100 yen, kind of hear their story, hear about their concerns in life, whether it be something physical or mental or emotional, and tries to uplift them in a way that perhaps that person never saw themselves. This article on FNN actually goes into a couple of examples of some of the quote-unquote customers. It's weird to say customers. I guess people who found her and decided to use her services. The woman pictured on the left is just moved in with her new boyfriend, pictured next to her. And she basically goes on to say, I feel so bad because when I was living on my own, I was living a really messy life. I never cleaned up my room or anything. But after moving in with my boyfriend, I started kind of cleaning and started getting into the habit of cleaning. And then Kawamura Chiho-san goes on to just praise her, being like, it's fantastic that, because you think about it, you realize your mistakes, you realize your weaknesses, and you're doing everything you can to rectify that, to be better at it, to not just do it for yourself, but to do it for your new partner. So I think that's something that is really powerful and really uplifting for someone like you. And a lot of people might look at this story and think wow, feels like such a waste of time. Why would you just praise a random person for 30 minutes for literal chump change, for 100 yen? But I think you have to understand that, especially in Japan, this kind of way of motivation, this kind of uplifting of oneself is not really a culture that is heavily ingrained. You have to understand that Japan is very much a collectivist society where everyone works in a system with the cogs turning smoothly, and if you step out of that system in any way, whether it be because of mental or emotional damage or because you're feeling depressed with any kind of mental illness or stuff like that, it's unfortunate that society doesn't really take you all that seriously. I've talked about this in the past, but the concept of mental health in Japan is, I feel, only just now starting to be seen in an actual serious way. In terms of things like depression and anxiety disorder, these were not really issues in Japanese society, or not really posed as a serious issue amongst adults. Hence the reason why, even to this day, the suicide rate in Japan is so incredibly high. Because school kids and adults are just pressured to the edge of their limit in all sorts of tough ways that they don't really have a lot of emotional support over. So the fact that this young girl is taking time out of her day to, even for a small, tiny fee, to just sit down with them, hear them out, and, try and uplift them in a way that, again, they never really saw themselves, is something just so insanely wholesome, and coming from a Japanese person in Japanese society, again, in a way that it works in that kind of cruel way, it's just so cool and brave to me. And this, I guess, motivational speaking has really made its rounds, especially on Japanese Twitter with, over 400 people. She's already had 400 clients, and she didn't start that long ago either. Of a lot of people saying, because of you, because you heard me out, because you listened to me, because you made me realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not as much of a piece of shit as I thought I was. Maybe, I've actually done really well for myself. Maybe I do deserve some praise from someone. Just hearing those words really does change another person's life. Now, you might be wondering, why is this girl doing this? Is it because of a publicity stunt? Is it because she's trying to do some kind of social experiment? That is a very YouTuber way of thinking about things, but no, it's definitely a hell of a lot more wholesome than that. It's mostly because she was also in the same position as a lot of people that she is hearing out and helping out now, where after moving out of her parents' home and starting this university and stepping one foot into adulthood in Japan, which is pressurizing as hell. She had self-esteem issues with how she looked. She would go on diets. She hated the way that she physically looked and felt, and always thought to herself, I really want to be praised. I'm putting in all this effort to better myself, but it's hard when you do it on your own. It's a great feeling. Humans just naturally want to be recognized by other humans. That's just human nature, in my opinion. A lot of people, especially on the internet, love this whole idea of self-deprecation. I mean, I do it a lot myself. I love shitting on myself, and I think there's a lot of you guys watching this video who also feel and do the same things. And that's fine and all, because it helps us stay grounded. It helps us stay humble. Of course, you don't want to do it too much to the point where it becomes self-hate, because then that just becomes a whole other issue in and of its own. But I feel naturally, as humans, we want to be liked by other people. We want to be praised by other people, especially when we're going through a hard time physically, mentally, or emotionally, and we're doing our absolute goddamn best to better improve ourselves and hopefully to better improve the lives of others who deal with our bullshit. If there is someone out there who thinks to themselves, oh, I'm overweight, so I'm going to start going to the gym. Naturally, that person wants people to recognize that and be like, hey, you lost a lot of weight. Good job, dude. Or, if someone is struggling through some kind of mental illness or, depression, anxiety disorder, anything like that, and they're trying to fight their way through it, they're trying to better themselves for it. Naturally, I think as humans, we want someone else to be like, yeah, you all right? You're doing well for yourself. Keep it up. I know you got this. I believe in you. I feel, especially since, again, the age of the internet and the age of self-deprecation being really just common and, like, I don't want to say trendy, but I mean, it is trendy in a sense to shit on yourself and turn that into comedy. There is also a part of me that's like, we don't uplift others enough. And I guess Kawamura Chiho-san here thought the exact same thing. And so she thought, you know what? I want people to like themselves. I want to uplift people because that's what I want from me as well. If I can't get it for myself, then the best I can do and the thing that I can do best is to do it for other people, which I think is so fucking cool. The fact that she is going out here to uplift others in order to uplift herself is such a win-win situation, and I feel is something that we just don't really see enough of nowadays. Because I feel, self-deprecation in a sense is almost a form of like macho insecurity. It's almost a form of like, I don't want to show my real emotions, so instead I'm going to say the complete opposite about how I actually feel to try and distract myself from this shitty feeling. And again, it's that whole you scratch my back, I scratch yours, but not in a direct way, right? It's this idea of, I want people to like me and I want to learn to like myself. And so what is the easiest way to learn to like myself? Is to like others and to uplift others and to make other people realize that liking yourself and praising yourself and being praised is a good thing, is an uplifting thing, and it really does change lives. So yeah, that was just like a short little story that I wanted to share just because it's not often you see these kinds of like wholesome pieces of news being picked up, especially on sites like Twitter and just mainstream media in general. I feel like a lot of it is just like so shrouded in negativity that we never get to see shit like this, especially during a really hard time like the pandemic. I apologize if this was a little bit sappy, but you know what? Sometimes I want to be sappy. Sometimes I want to be wholesome, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's a time and place for self-deprecation and shitting on yourself for comedic purposes and, you know, just to laugh at a little bit. But at the same time, I don't want people to forget that, you know, uplifting others and praising others is also just as effective, if not more effective, and I feel it's kind of slowly disappearing in this time and age. But thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, then hey, why not smack my face right here to subscribe to the channel? Let's keep making big channel number go bigger. Over here next to my head is a couple more videos you can check out, and if you want to go follow your boy on his social media, then the links to that will be in the description below. Tweet at me or comment below any other piece of news that you would like me to cover in a video like this one, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.